Hey guys, what's up? So this is gonna be a video of my opinion on the Liebherr LR1600-2 crawler crane made by NZG in 1/50th scale. Um, Basically, I was gonna do a review, but then I figured, what? There's two of them already out there. Or, well, two that I know of that are very popular. Cranes, etc., and Crane 07. So between the two of them, pretty much everyone has seen the review of this model. And if you haven't, go check theirs out, because both of them, between the two of them, you'll pretty much get everything you want to know about the model. But this is just kind of my take on it. Issues that I've had, things that I love, and the issues were extremely minimal. One of the very, very tiny, so nothing major. Just little things that I kind of nitpicked at, and I'm gonna nitpick at in this video, to kind of tell you what I think of it and whatnot. So to jump right into it, the few issues that I actually had with the model, which truly are very few, and fairly minimal. So to start, I guess I'll just start with probably one of the basic things here. Reeving the A-frame. You have to do it on this model. All the string comes on the drum in the back, which is a split drum. The only way to really do it is take all the string off and cut it from one end that's tied to the drum once you take it all off, which is a time-consuming process. Unless if you have a drill, it's a little bit quicker, but it is still kind of time-consuming. And then just taking it off is time-consuming. Then reeving it for the A-frame is also fairly time-consuming. And don't follow the directions. I heard that from both reviews. Everyone said do not follow the directions. I think there's a thing on NZG, the website, you could print off to how to do it, but honestly, I just followed how Crane 07 did it. Actually, I did mine a touch different. I screwed up on a spot, but it works just as fine, just as easily. So basically, to go through that really, really quick, you take it all off, and then what I did is I spooled the drum, on one side, because what I'll do is I'll show you. Okay, so as you can see, it's a split drum in the back. So what I did is I took it all off the one side, and I took it all off both. I took it all off the entire drum, all the string. Then I started reweaving it back onto this back one here, the farther one with obviously the more string on it. Tried to get as much as I could on there, and then left a little bit just hanging. And that's what I ended up reeving the A-frame with. Started with that, went on the one side over here, and then just over, under, over, under, over, under. Once I got to the middle, I crossed it, but then I accidentally recrossed it, so I ended up continuing back over, under, over, under, over, under, and then ended up over here. Now, the only reason I kind of screwed up was because when I recrossed it, it caused this piece here that come back to this, the one that comes back to this drum, to end up on the bottom of the pulley, which isn't a big deal, just instead of the top. So it's not, it doesn't look even, but it's fine. So whatever, you come back around, do all the pulleys, which is a time-consuming kind of pain-in-the-ass process, because the top wants to jump, the bottom wants to, but it actually doesn't that easily. The top does, though, pretty easily. You just got to watch it, and they don't roll too freely, so it is a bit of a, without any tension on them, it's kind of a pain to get it to really roll smoothly, to actually reeve up and down or whatnot. So then I took all the remaining string, put it on this drum, and then just started reeving it back, because I had it all the way forward to make sure that I have enough string. I should have cut it, but I didn't even think about that. I mean, if I really wanted, I could always redo it. It's not a big deal, but I don't think I will, because it works for me. I don't have a problem with it. So that's the only thing. I wish they just had it reeved already. Not the way they wanted it, but like the same way as the LR1600 has it. Just simple. So that's the only thing about that was a little bit annoying. Reeving the bridle or equalizer was exceptionally easy, very easy. The instructions are small for this size model, but are fairly are in depth enough when it comes to which which drum to use for what part of the crane. The drum for the drum. Well, the only reason I kind of knew which drums go to which is because I have the 18,000, and like when you have the back mast here, the drum on the back mast is for the bridle or equalizer. Usually, the drums in the body, in the actual car body, are for the hook, which it is. It's actually for the main hook. You have to run 2 lines off the main hook. This drum here is for the luffing jib, or which one? No, this drum here is actually for the whip line, and this one's for the luffing jib. There's different size. The one's a little bit smaller. The one on the bottom that's sticking out is actually smaller. That one actually folds in with a couple pins you pull out. It'll actually slide into the boom section here, which is cool for transport and whatnot. Detail in this model is exceptional. Between all the ladders and little things here, the cab, everything is really, really top notch. So, like I was saying, reeving the equalizer / bridle, whatever you want to call it, very easy process. Didn't cross anything on that. Just reeve it simply. They want you to cross everything in the directions. Don't do it. Just over/under is fine. Especially this model on NZG models. I don't know why they even bother doing it, because they're locking drums. So on like the 18,000, if you really wanted that to be a model you can cross them on, it wouldn't move at all if you did, which would be fine for some people, because the drums on like the 18,000, the TWH models, except for the 4100s, the drums don't lock. So pretty much on the 18,000 and 16,000, the drums don't lock. They're just kind of free rolling. So you have to have enough friction in the pulleys for it to not move, which it does. So that's fine, but that's a different model. I'm not going to get into that. So on this one, though, the drums lock. They're spring loaded, so you have to push them in and then turn. And if you release the spring, it pushes the drum back over and it locks it. So they can't really go anywhere. So over/under is the easiest, simplest way to do it, and it makes it the easiest for the model to move, pretty much. The luffing jib, I had my fair share of issues with reeving the struts, only because I had to do my own little work on the one end, which I'll show you. So, it's too low there. There we go. So I actually had to take the first. If you have the model, you'll know the way the sheaves are on the model. There's one extended one that's up a little bit. That's for you to run your initial string or cable, say on the real machine, up around that one first, and then you start the over/under process around between the two struts. For me, that one caused so much friction that the first 3 sheaves in the one little, because they're all kind of split up and they have pins in them or whatever, so the string doesn't jump. Take those out. The pins, it's nice because it doesn't let it jump, but it's awful because it doesn't let the pulleys or the sheaves spin at all. So I ended up taking that out, taking the first pulley out that was extended. I just took it out. I pulled the pin and took that one out because it literally allowed them, it wouldn't allow them to move at all. So I took that one out. So it's one short on the one side, and I just actually put that pulley back. I took out another one on the other side there. So the first one on that side, all the way towards the left, is supposed to have 4. It only has 3 now because the other side is 3, which is fine. I don't really care. It's still more than enough for the model. It doesn't affect it at all. Realistically, it doesn't. It's supposed to have the other one, but it won't roll, and it made it practically impossible for it to move. I tried everything. I had to scratch paint off. The paint was so thick that the pulleys wouldn't roll on either side. So it was a lot of playing. So on NZG's part, I think that, I don't know if it's just my model. I don't know if it's on all the 1600s. But the paint between the pulleys or the sheaves was very thick. I don't know what I was trying to say there. It's very, very thick. Too thick. Honestly, they don't even need it. They're just a touch just to make it yellow, not overdone. It doesn't need to be overdone because it caused so much friction with the sheaves that they wouldn't roll at all. and then the one side there was so much friction from that one that was raised, the one sheet that was raised, it really screwed up. If you don't have the model, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But if you buy the model or you have the model and you have the same problem, if you're still having that problem, I'd take the one pulley out, which is the one that's extended. That's the first one that you run the line off of to start reeving the luffing jib. So if you have the model, I would recommend doing that. If you already, I mean, this could be just my model, but I'm sure it's quite a few of them. If you haven't figured out, a little trick out already, or maybe yours just was fortunate enough to not to actually work. If you have enough weight on it, it will roll. But like right now, if I started undoing the drum, turn the drum, it would start to kind of it wouldn't go on its own. I'd have to either put some weight on the end of the jib or kind of help it along by actually rolling the sheaves with my finger as I'm undoing the drum, just for it to move. Turning it back in, luffing it up, I guess, luffing it up, yeah, that'd be cool. I guess that would work as a term. Is fine. It's luffing down or jibbing down is the issue, because there doesn't seem to be enough weight to pull it. And plus, I had to take I had to take a 40 and a 20 section out on my jib, because on my table here it would be too tall, which is fine. I like it a little shorter. It looks like it's made for a heavier lift, which I kind of have simulated here. So that's really the only other thing that I would complain about, more or less. So back on the model, the only other thing that was on my model that I know is on no other one, or hopefully it's not on anybody else's, because it's definitely a little flaw. Under here, under this boom or backmast kickstand, I think they're called. The term you can use is the kickstand of them. It's really just so it doesn't go back too far. It eventually, they're spring-loaded little cylinders, and they're just made to kind of hold it, keep tension on it going that way so it doesn't fall back. It also keeps tension on this so this doesn't unravel while you have the maxer on, or derrick. There's supposed to be a little stopper right here, which is on the other side, where my finger right in front of my fingernail. Mine just doesn't have it. It's just smooth, so this one actually goes back and is resting on that part of the handrails, which is fine, not a big deal. It doesn't look too bad, and if you're really looking at it, you really couldn't even tell. So that's the only other thing. Really, I don't have any complaints other than that. Any other complaints, I should say. There's the hook. The hook is very, very cool. I like it a lot. If it would focus on the hook. You have to do the two drums in the actual car body. Those are the ones that I use for the hook, which are the ones you're supposed to use. That's a pain in the ass to reeve. Once you get going with it, it goes quicker. But the initial start of it to prevent it from jumping is a pain in the ass. I recommend taking the little pins they put in there for the not to jump. I recommend taking those out of the hook to reeve it, and then kind of slide them back in as you reeve each pulley, just to hold those in. That's what I ended up doing, just because it's a pain in the ass. So that's that one. The whip line it's one pulley, so it's very easy, and you just tie it off wherever you want. There's no real. I mean, I tied it on a tie-off point. It looks like a tie-off point. I kind of made one, so whatever. So be it. Otherwise, I mean, that's really about it. There's the other hook there, and there's the boom tip. The American flag is just a little thing. I got a pack of them. I put them on all my cranes. I think it looks cool. Walkways there. I mean, again, it's not really a review. This is just kind of my opinion on the model, so I'm not going to go over every little thing. The derrick kit I like a lot. Really, really heavy. The coolest part about that, honestly, is that it has so many different positions. This one hole here, I could literally push the derrick all the way up to here to where it's touching this pretty much. Where it's right on this piece here is actually would be on here, which would be actually really cool. That's for like I believe that would be for if you had it really, really tall. You would have it closer, I would think, and I think that when they boom up the crane, I believe that the best position to have the counterweight tray or derrick or max or whatever you want to call it. On the 18,000 it's called a max, or here on these it's called derricks. I think the best position if you're booming up to have it as very far out, which would make sense to keep the most, you have the counterweight, obviously counteract the extensive weight pulling down from the entire boom and jib as you're raising it up. So, and then I guess if it's really close, that's probably for really really high. When you have the crane in a higher configuration. And then where I have it's I think it's just it's right in the middle. And that's kind of cool for just your basic heavy lift, I would think. Which I like where it is anyway. It's kind of nice. You can tell it sticks out. It's pretty much 90 degrees with the back mass, which is cool too. So the counterweights are very heavy. But again, I don't know why I keep going off like I was doing a review. It really is just my opinion on the model. It swivels great. Tracks are gorgeous. Everything works. I mean, other than those few little flaws, I really don't have anything bad about the crane. I mean, they're easy fixes, and it's just more like it's any crane. The reeving is a pain in the ass any way you look at it. Whether it's the A-frame, the hook, or the luffing jib, the only thing that's easy really is the bridle. But if it jumps sheave, it's not. If it jumps the pulleys, the string, it's a pain in the ass. And honestly, if you can have someone help you, I would say that's the best bet, unless you're able to rig up your own little thing, which I kind of did myself, just to kind of figure out how to do it on my own, because I kind of work better alone, especially with this type of stuff. I'd rather be in my own world with some music playing and just kind of go in with when it comes to stringing up all these different parts and whatnot. Other than that, I mean, it's an absolutely gorgeous crane in my opinion. I love it. Details, again, great. Functionality on this. This is the top crane, I think, on the market. As I was talking to Crane 07, he was saying that, or Brandon was saying too, he agrees that it's probably the top crane on the market when it comes to functionality, and honestly, probably detail right now, that's out. I know that I heard that Tonkin Replicas has taken over, or has taken on a license for Manitowoc, so hopefully... I don't have the Kobelco, but of what I've seen, a couple of reviews of it, it seems like a nice model. The Kobelco crane, the crawler crane they made. So hopefully they end up making the new MLT. I think it's the MLT 650. That's the new big one. That's the one that replaced the 18,000 from Manitowoc, and even some of the smaller ones, which would be cool. It'd be cool to see some new Manitowoc models, because TWH closed. So. Otherwise, that's kind of my opinion on this crane. Sorry for the length, but I really wanted to get everything I wanted to say about it in. I mean, other than a few little issues, it's a great crane, and that honestly happens on almost all of them. It's not the real crane, so not everything's gonna work just as perfect as the real one. But when you work through it and you have the model, and I mean, I haven't had it that long. I used to think the 18,000 was the toughest thing in the world to use and maneuver, and between the hook and the bridle and the luffing jib, I thought, oh, I can't do this. It's a pain in the butt, It really so, and then now it's like after having it for over 3 years, it's like, all right, whatever, it's just part of owning the crane, and you learn little tricks and little things to do with it over time. So otherwise, thanks so much for watching. The next video will be probably another review of I don't know, somebody in the last video, I don't remember the name, unfortunately. I'd probably message you back. I do not have a Komatsu PC360, I have a 350, so if you want to see a review of that, I don't think I did one of those. If you want to see a review of that, I'll go ahead and do it. If not, I don't have a Komatsu 360, so I'm not going to be able to do the review of that one, obviously. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Check out the Instagram, which will be the link in the description again, at least for a while, until everybody kind of gets to know that, which my following on Instagram is pretty decent, so I'm really liking that. Thanks so much for everybody that is on YouTube, that follows me on Instagram. Appreciate it. I definitely try to post on there a lot more, or daily almost. So, again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.